Hello, welcome to a RunSignup 101. We're here today with Emily, who is going to walk you through the basics of getting started with a race on RunSignup. If you have any questions throughout, there is a questions box on your GoToWebinar module. You can enter any questions in there, and I'll be answering them throughout the session. If we have time at the end, we may also add some at the end, but we can handle them throughout the session as well. Emily, you can go ahead and get started.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending today's 101 webinar. As Johanna said, my name is Emily Warko, and I am an account manager here at RunSignup. I'm going to be leading the webinar today. So today we will be covering the foundation of your race. This may be a live race, a virtual race, a race with several challenge events, or a hybrid race, which is a race with a live event and a virtual or challenge event option. Today, we're going to walk through the 7 steps of the Race Wizard on how to create a race. So we'll cover any key features for both virtual and challenge options. And then we'll review how to enable some additional features to customize your race page and get it to look just how you'd like it. And then lastly, we'll touch on the reporting aspect. All right, so let's jump into the Race Wizard. It's 7 easy steps. To begin, you're going to select Create a Race on the front of runsignup.com. So just to show you what this looks like, you're going to go ahead and click Create a Race. Now, I already have a personal account on RunSignup and I'm already logged in. If you do not have an account with RunSignup, it is going to require you create an account before proceeding. So by selecting Create a Race, it's going to bring me right into the Race Wizard. The 7 steps of the Race Wizard are basic info is step 1. Step 2 is events. Step 3 is registration. Step 4 is giveaways. Step 5 is your page. And step 6 is payments, which is an important one. And then step 7 is promotions. So now I'm going to show you here. This is the step 1 of the Race Wizard. On step 1, it's going to collect the basic info for your race, such as race name, description of the race, location, race contact, race URL, events, and a few other pieces of information. So for race name, I have a few tips when filling out all this information. So race name, this should not have annual number of years in the name or the current year in the name of the race. This can interfere with the SEO, which is the search engine optimization for year after year search ranking on search engines such as Google. So just keep that in mind as you're creating a race name. And then for race description here, you can add any details about the race, anything that gets people pumped up. And then next is the race location. So if it's a virtual race, you can just add any local address, and then I can show you how to hide that later. And then the race URL, which is the next piece of information. This can only be created one time. It's used year after year. So this is kind of similar when it comes to the SEO for the race name. You just want to make sure that you don't include the year or annual number of years in the URL. It just will increase your chances of creating something more generic so that your race will show up on one of the first pages when people search for you in Google. Next is the time zone here. I just want to make sure that I'm just keeping this in mind to enter the proper time zone so that your pricing tiers are going to be based off of this time zone, and a majority of the race setup is going to be based off of the time zone that you choose. So just want to make sure that we're staying on top of that. Next is the race contact email. So this is the email that will be sent a message when participants enter any questions in the contact form. and then Facebook page ID and Facebook event. So this can be entered as well to keep your participants connected to your organization's community. All right, so moving right along here, we're going to look at creating the first initial event. So this is going to ask for your event name. Events in RunSignup terminology are the actual distances, whether it be a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, or a 500 cycle. Some companies use the word categories as their term. We just use event. So you're going to go ahead and enter the event here. And then you're going to choose the type of event. So there is a virtual in challenge option that you can choose here, which allows participants to submit their own results. The challenge option will also allow participants to enter multiple results for a particular event. Now, if you're doing a live event, you can go ahead and select the other options under the type dropdown, like run walk, run, there's triathlon, there's so many different live options here. You can continue to scroll and choose which one works best for your race. Now, if you do decide that you want to change your type of event to a virtual challenge event, you can always re-enter the race wizard and make this change. So nothing is set in stone here. So next, we're going to talk about pricing. So this is where processing fees are, that you can select the setting on how you would like to charge either the processing fee to the registrant, or you can incur the processing fee or split it with the registrant. You can take on half. For more information on our pricing, you can go to runsignup.com/pricing for more information on this. There is also a more advanced option that if the race does decide that they want to take on half of the processing fee or take on the entire charge of the processing fee, you can go ahead and there's a custom prompt that you can put into place in the back end to add any kind of like customized messaging saying like, hey, make your registration go further by benefiting, X organization, and the participant can choose if they want to take on that processing fee entirely. And then there is the option to enable donations here. This can also be done on the back end, but it's kind of convenient that you can go ahead and click this toggle here, add in a goal and just the basic information. And then race history, when you're creating a race, this is just something that we need just to get an idea of what your event is all about, your race is all about. And then timers. So if you have a timer, go ahead and enter their email. You can enter the name of their company or contact name in this text box. If they are a timer in our platform, it will go ahead and pull up their information. Otherwise, you can invite them and it will give them access immediately. So like, for example, I'm going to go ahead and click search here. This is not a timer on our platform, so you can go ahead and put their email in here to invite them. You also have the option of leaving this blank too. I know right now with virtual races, they're a hot item and many people may think like, why would I need a timer? It's not a live race. There is a time and a place for a timer with a virtual race. If you don't have time to learn a whole new system, a timer can set it up and set everything back up on the back end for you. Our company works very closely with our timers to educate them. So just keep that in mind, as well as RunSignup has this app called RaceJoy, and that's exclusive for timers on RunSignup. It's just another way to enhance the race day experience. You can check this out at racejoy.net for more information. All right, so moving on, we're going to go ahead and save this race as a draft, and this is where you would click right here. This is so it's not visible to the public yet. Once we're done building, we can make it live, and you can also choose to make any types of, you can make it live and then make any edits as it's live as well. All right. So I already have a race set up here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to step 2. This is our event info. This information on this page will show on the event info page, which is on the front of your race page, called event info on the toolbar. There's a few different options here that you can go ahead and click to make it a free event. You can also add any of the distance in here as well. Now the distance is important for 2 reasons. The race search and RunSignup will pull up your race based on the distance the person is searching for. The other reason is that the distance for each event will be used to calculate the pace in a virtual and challenge event. So that's just something to consider when entering in the distance here, making sure that's accurate. You can add any additional event information here. We do have this setting, age calculation base date, and this is used for triathlons, USAT ones normally. All right, so moving on to step 3. The information on this page is where you're going to set your pricing tiers. The registration will open the first date you enter. So whether that for this, for example, is going to be 2/20/2020. One of my favorite features on this page is the modify multiple events button right here. You can go ahead and put the date and pricing, and if it's the same for multiple events, you can select the events and enter the dates and pricing, and then go ahead and save it, and it will copy over to those events. So you can enter as many pricing tiers as you would like. You can see I have a couple here. And then continue to scroll to the bottom. There's a waiver option. So here we have the waiver. You can see that you can go ahead and double click and highlight. You can edit this. This is just a default waiver that we added in, but you can really truly add any type of verbiage that you'd like in here. And then you have some other options of how you'd like people to agree to your waiver, whether it be a full name per registrant or just a checkbox. It's whatever you'd really like. All right, so moving on to step 4. Obviously, you'd want to save the changes. I'm just not saving it because I already have these created. So for giveaways, so giveaways are swag items that are given to participants. They're usually for free. You can go ahead and enter a stop collecting giveaways after date. Here, this can also be left blank. The reason why normally people have the stop collecting date in here is if they have to go ahead and put in an order for the merchandise. So that's just something, an extra little detail, but you can leave it blank and just maybe put a little disclaimer in the additional details box here, just saying, you know, sizes are not guaranteed after X date. So there's also the taxable item code here. So we are fully integrated with sales tax. You can choose the taxable item code or you can select default. You can see more details on sales tax at runsignup.com/sales tax. And then sizing here. Oh, you can add your little image here of your giveaway. And then sizing, you can put the sizes in and you can choose if there's, you know, one that you want to charge for, you can go ahead and add a charge, a dollar amount here. If you included the pricing of the giveaway into your registration already, you can add a no t-shirt option and have a negative numeric value here. And I also want to point out too that you can copy these giveaway options after you complete it for one event. You can go ahead and copy this over to other events. You would just click that little orange button here and then choose the events you want to copy it over to. All right, so step 5 here is customizing your race page. It's a fun part. Be able to add the race logo. You can upload your own race logo here, or you can choose one of our default icon logos right here. and then the race banner image. So you can go ahead and upload your own. We normally suggest the size of 1200 pixels by 400 pixels. We do have a croppy feature that will go ahead and it will bring it into the correct size. Sometimes it kind of zooms in a little bit, so it's just good to keep that 1200 by 400 pixel size in mind. We do have some other available banners. If you don't have one, you can choose one of ours too. Some other settings on the bottom here. If you do have a virtual race or challenge race, you can go ahead and uncheck this box to show the directions map at the bottom of the race page, as well as the hide event start times checkbox here too. There's just some other settings here. And then we also have some custom event text. This will just allow you to replace the word event with, to tailor it more to the type of race that you're having, whether it be track, waves, workshop, whatever type of event it is. You can go ahead and add that there. Moving on to step 6. So you will want to create a payment account so we can pay you, as well as you can utilize other features on our platform, such as email marketing. So just making sure that you enter in your proper payment information. If you already have a payment account, you can just choose the drop down here and choose your payment account. If you need some help with your payment account setting this up, there is a little orange help button at the top of every page that you can click, and it will bring you over to a help guide for that particular topic. That's a really great little tip. All right, so lastly is step 7 here. So we're done creating our race through the race wizard. Here you're going to find some automated email options and promo features. Once again, if your payment account isn't set up, you won't be able to enable these automated emails, but you can always go back and turn this on once it's been approved. And then you'll just want to, so for incomplete registration emails, this is when someone goes through your registration path and doesn't check out. It will go ahead and send a follow-up email asking them if they want to, come back and complete their registration. Price increase emails are great because this is a great way for participants to refer their friends and family. It will let them know when the price is going up and to let their friends know to come and register. And then referral rewards is a really awesome way of incentivizing your race. So you can have they can refer 5 people and get $20. It's really whatever you would like. Okay, so we've just completed the race wizard. We're going to go ahead and save and finish. And this is going to bring us back into the race dashboard. So now we're in the race dashboard. This is the back end of your race where you're going to find all of our features. This search bar is a lifesaver. It's going to basically, you can add any keywords in here and it's going to pull it up, so let's say I want to look for the cover page feature. I'm going to go ahead and click that. If I'm stuck and I'm I don't know how to set up this cover page, I can go ahead and click this help button and it's going to bring me right to the cover page help guide. And our help guides and webinars are loaded with a wealth of information. So it's definitely something you're going to want to dive into. So now that we completed our race wizard, I'm going to go ahead and just show you what it's like to run through and test your registration path. So I already have my information preloaded here. This is my profile. So I'm going to go ahead. It's already going to fill out my basic information. I'm going to go ahead and choose what event I'd like to sign up for. I'm going to agree to this waiver and I can scroll to continue. Can choose what t-shirt option I would like. I'm going to choose no t-shirt because I want to show you what that looks like with the negative numeric value. And I'm done. So that's really it. That's the way that you can just see, you know, on the front end what it looks like for participants by testing your own registration path. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. You can see you can click this little person on the top to return to your dashboard. I'm going to go ahead and show you where you can design your race page. So here is race template. You can kind of choose how you want your standard race page to look, whether you have the toolbar on the top of the page or the toolbar on the side of the page. You can also select if you want to put in your social media feed, whether it be Facebook or Twitter. If you want to add your own countdown clock, maybe you want a custom one. So there's really, the options are endless there. Here you can choose the color scheme of your race page. You can create your own color scheme. You can press edit to one of these and then choose what colors you would like for each section. It's going to list underneath each color where this is going to play into. So just keeping that in mind, and you can go ahead and add in the name of the scheme. And then the race logo, which you added in, the race wizard, you can always change that here, as well as the banner image as well if you change your mind. So this is more of the standard race design. Now, currently right now, I have my cover pages enabled. So this is what you see. Actually, let me pull this up. This is what you see here on the race page. You see that there are several header images that I have. It makes it look more like a website than the standard race design. And you can do some different buttons and call to actions here too. So on the top of my race page here, you can see that I have some menu items with several drop-down menu items as well. This is created through cover pages, cover pages, but custom sections. So what you're going to do to add these other sections is you're going to go to race website, custom sections. You can see them all here. I created all these custom sections here. You're going to basically select the plus sign at the bottom of this page. And then you're going to go to custom content display. And you're going to choose if you want to display it as a sub-menu item, what name of menu item you want to put this under, or you can display it as your own menu item. Another great feature too is domain. So if you have purchased a domain, you can go ahead and connect your domain to your race page. And then menu order, since we were talking about that with the custom sections, you can go ahead and drag and drop your menu items here, change the order of them. So I can maybe like these, and you can also hide them too. So these are all hidden. So maybe I want to, you know, change challenge over virtual there. And then if you just decide that you want to keep your standard race design, you can change the layout of your race page. You would just go to layout and then select these arrows here to move the sections up and down. So lastly is reporting. So for all this type of information and who is registered for your race, you're going to go to participants and then view participants. And these are all the people that have registered for your race. The really great thing about this report is that you can customize it to what you need, what information that you need. So you would just go to Report Options, Customize View. I always go to Pick from All columns, and you can select some other pieces of information, whether it be date of birth, phone number, you know, financial information, who got a coupon discount, truly anything of that sort. You can also, if you need this in a CSV file, you can go ahead and click Export Options and download this as a CSV. So after I chose my little topics here, that what I wanted on my report, I'm going to go ahead and hit Update Report at the bottom. It's going to update it to what I had added, and then I can click Export Options, download as a CSV. So for donations, a lot of races, as you know, raise funds for a good cause. Donations, you can find this in the dashboard as well. I know that you saw it in the first step of the race wizard, but you can add this here and go ahead and add additional information. There's also reports here for donation. And then if you choose to do fundraising, there's also more reporting for that. And then a multitude of other reports. So we just have a really robust reporting system here. All right, so just to review what we have covered, we went over the search bar feature, which is going to come in handy for you, the help button, which is going to be a lifesaver. This is going to bring you to any of the help guides that are on that particular topic of the top of the page where you select help. And then our blog, which is a great resource of all the latest information of what's going on in the endurance industry. So to customize your page, we discussed all the race page customization, such as race theme, where we chose the different colors, logos, banners, cover pages, which makes your page look more like a website, domains, where you can add in your own domain, connect that to your race page, custom sections that we converted into menu items, that's custom content display, menu order, where I showed you how to change the order of the menu items. And then if you chose just to keep your standard race design, I showed you how to change the layout as well. You can move the arrows up and down in that setting. All right, so we're going to cover just a brief overview of some of the virtual features. So virtual setup. I'm going to go ahead and show you where you can find how to enable your virtual settings. So you're going to go to Race Day Tools. Now, remember when in Race Wizard, step 1, when we created our event, I chose Virtual Challenge for one of the events. So anytime you use Virtual Challenge as the type, it's going to automatically bring that in back here where you can enable the virtual settings. And it's only going to do that for the events that you choose that type for. So to cover virtual race, you can go ahead and under your virtual settings, just add in when you want to accept submissions, start accepting, and then when you want to accept them till. Your result set is going to default to the name of your event. You can go ahead and you can really create, you can name it whatever you would like. And then what type of information you want to collect. So I'm going to collect the time since this is a one result submission. It's for a half marathon. So I just want the time since I know it's for the half marathon. And then how you want your results sorted. So I'm going to do lowest time for this, as well as entering in the minimum and maximum time that I'm going to accept for results. So that's kind of covering a virtual race, which is a one submission event. And then also for virtual challenge, this is a multi-submission type of event. Same details when it comes to accepting and accepting till. Same thing with the result set. You can really name this what you would like. You will want to enable that this is a challenge event, and then choose, you know, times if you want them to submit a time, and then distance, which can be in miles. They can, with challenges, they can kind of continue to do it between that period of time that you allow them to complete the challenge. So maybe if they're doing a half marathon, maybe they only want to run 2 miles a day throughout a span of a week. So they can go ahead and record it based on the tallies. And then same thing with the minimum and maximum time allowed. You can enter that here, and then how you want this to be sorted. So the challenge is a little bit more extensive when it comes to what other settings that you can enable. So when it comes to, you can add different activity types, such as run, ride, swim, walk. You can do custom, such as push-ups I've seen. You can see if you want to allow time entry. This is optional to add max tally, and then how you want the results to show up in the result set. Notifications, so you can choose to send out email marketing notifications. This can be for both a virtual and challenge event. For a virtual race, you can do text message notifications to have them enter in their results. I don't suggest doing this for challenge. I would only suggest doing the email. And you can go ahead and create this however you would like. We have replacement tags here that automatically collect that information. It has its own message. You can see here, it says the replacement tag is for more details, go to, and it will have them go to your page. And then goals. So under goals for the challenge event, you can go ahead and enter an overall goal. If you list other activities, you can set a goal for each activity, and then you can go ahead and choose what you would like, whether it's, you know, you allow the participant to set their own goal or your overall goal for all participants. And then this is another really neat feature. You can add your own KML file, so a map that shows the participants' progress throughout the challenge. And then lastly, the milestones are a great way of encouraging your participants. These are badges that will come up as the participant is going along completing their challenge. You can do percent to goal completed. You can do a fixed distance. Maybe every time they complete 5 miles, they get a badge, and you can name these badges, as well as creating your own. So you could do custom and then add your own custom badge. Or you could just choose one of our generic ones too, whatever you prefer. Okay, so as we're doing these virtual and challenge events, when you have your giveaway options, you may want to ship your giveaway items. So this is an option here. You can go ahead and enable shipping, maybe for only those particular events that you have virtual and challenge enabled. If you want to allow addresses outside of the US, you can enable this. Otherwise, maybe you just want to require US addresses, you can do that. And then you can also enable it for add-ons and store items too. Let me see where we're at here. Oh, and then lastly, so we have photos. This is a really fun one. This is a newer feature that we've released a few months ago. You can go to photos, photo setup, and you can allow participants to upload their own photos under their personal results. You can find this under the results set once they click into their name on the results set, they have their images under there that they've uploaded. So this is a really neat feature. Great way of kind of bringing everyone together, making it fun. All right, so we covered virtual setup, virtual results, how to enable your shipping, and virtual photos. We also covered challenge. So just to kind of give you a look, we went over activity types, the live map, which it looks like this. When you add your own KML file, it will show the little person here, them going along the route. Goals, which you can see here, there is a progress bar showing where the participant is and how much progress they've made in their goal. Milestone and badges, which is a really great way of encouraging our participants. They'll have their own little trophy case. And then email marketing and notifications is a great way of keeping that communication between your participants, just reaching out to them to let them know to log their results. Team results, which is awesome. When you set up groups and teams, you can go ahead and enable the team results right under the virtual settings. This will, team results will have their own results page within the results. And then this is what a personal results page would look like. You can see the bib number up top here, and then you'll see that they've logged different activities, and it will show, you know, how much time it's taken them, their pace, and how many miles they've finished. So resources for virtual options, we have a wealth of information on all of these virtual options. So we have our virtual hub, which is runsignup.com/go-virtual. We have our challenge platform, which is runsignup.com/challenge platform. And then we have the newest and latest hybrid race hub, which is runsignup.com/hybrid. We just recorded more webinars yesterday, so you'll find these on here as well as in our blog too. There'll be more information. Just to cover too, so we talked about reporting and I showed you where to find reports. We just have a robust reporting system. So just keeping that in mind that there's, you know, all of these reports in the dashboard. You can find groups and teams reports, giveaways and add-ons, the participants report that I showed you how to customize, as well as donations, fundraising, email marketing reports. I mean, there's just so many. So you can find those under the reports tab. And then just for some final notes, just to go over, we talked about how shipping is important, especially with this being year of the virtual, how to enable that, how to actually change and hide the default place. So you're going to go to race website, race location, and you're going to go ahead and hide your location through there. And then changing the verbiage for your race if needed. You can go ahead and go to race website and MISC settings to change that. Thank you all so much for joining today. Do you have any questions?
Hey, yeah, we have a couple of questions. There were a few of them that were answered throughout, and M's acting a little bit finicky now, so we'll go over just a couple of them. If we don't get to any of your questions, we will also follow up with you after. Emily, can two people have access to the back end of RunSignup? You know, for both the race director and maybe the volunteer manager?
Absolutely. So to give access, you're going to go to race, and you can see here how I put show more. You'll want to click that, secure access info sharing, and you're going to want to go ahead, and if you want to give them full race director access, you can go ahead and do add a new race director, put their email, first name and last name, and it will send them an invite. If you want to give limited access, you'll see down here it says dashboard page access. You're going to go ahead and click this little arrow here next to set up dashboard page access, and then click add access, and you'll be able to select specific topics that you want them to have access to.
If we have an event and we want to involve different types of activities for different groups, like a shorter walk for older people and maybe a run, the longer run for really experienced people, can you have options for both?
Yeah, you can choose. So if it's just like, let's say it's a 5K, you can just, if you want to have it all in the same result set, you can just put different activities, or you can just make them different events. It's entirely up to you.
Can we change the t-shirt sizes that appear? Can we put in, say a kid size or a petite?
Absolutely. So under raise giveaways, you can go ahead here and add additional t-shirt. You can add a different giveaway options. You can write over these in the beginning. I don't suggest doing it later after they've been selected, but you can go ahead and put in youth, small.
Is there an option to send people a bib that they can print themselves at home?
100%. This is a really neat feature that we've added in the year of the virtual race. So you can customize a digital bib here. You can go ahead and create a bib template, and you can add your own image in the background and then choose what topics you would like. This is going to appear in their profile next to the event, the upcoming event. It'll show like view bib. They can also view it under their results too.
Can you do shipping as an option for live events as well as for virtual events?
Yes, you can go ahead and set up a registration add-on asking if they would like their items shipped, and then turn on shipping for add-ons, and you can do it that way. You turn on shipping for add-ons and it will trigger if they select yes, they want their items mailed.
In
you can do that for both.
Sorry, go ahead. In addition to the link to the photos that shows up in results, can you also have a link on your website directly to the photos?
Yeah, absolutely. Once you enable photos, you can go ahead, it's going to show up as a menu item on your race page.
And I think one more, do participants have to create an account in order to enter the results, virtual results?
Yeah. Yes, they do need an account. They will need to create their own RunSignup account, but you can import results too, but I would suggest yes, that if they want to continue to enter their own results, the best way to do it is for them to create their own RunSignup account.
They won't necessarily have to sign into their account every time they want to enter the results. There are ways to enter the results without signing back in, but the account will still exist.
Correct. So under virtual settings, they can go ahead, you can enable allow participants to upload results more quickly by entering their email or the last 4 digits of their phone number instead of logging in.
So that's all the questions. We will be sending out the recording of this later today, along with some follow-up materials if you want to take a deeper dive into things like websites or virtual events. We know this was a pretty high-level look at the basics of using RunSignup. Thank you guys for joining us today, and just look out for that email a little later today. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you.